ये बालवीर सीज़न 3 का फुल एपिसोड 1 है जो मैजिक वर्ल्ड ने बालवीर फैंस के लिए बनाया है। इस एपिसोड को शुरू करने से पहले इस वीडियो को लाइक और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दें ताकि आप आने वाले नए बालवीर रिटर्न्स सीज़न 3 के एपिसोड्स कभी मिस ना कर पाएँ। Today's episode is about the wings of Baalveer. Now, the only time we ever saw Baalveer with wings was when he had Shwet Hira in his grasp, and the divinity and the blessings of the Shwet Hira, that was called the White Star, gave him the true white wings. And just like the NASA, who was given the black wings that were the blessings, or you can say the curse, but yeah, it was a blessing to the evil queen Timnasa, who was given those black wings as a gift of conquering and finding the Lal Hira. Now the question occurs is, why does Baal Veer or any other fairy didn't they have their own wings? Now we know they used teleportation most of the time, but teleportation is something that is completely different. Teleportation actually teleports you, but our fairies fly using the good old theme of Bifrost, and that was very well Bifrost that was used by Baalveer and other fairies. Now it is something that is controversial, of course, because Baalveer Returns ripped off a lot of movies and shows, and the primary content that Baalveer Returns ripped off was from Thor. The entirety of Thor, even the symbol of Paritara, or you can say the Veer-tara, was stolen from Thor Ragnarok, or you can say Thor's symbol. That was the symbol of his hammer, Mjolnir. And you can say that a lot of things were just copied and pasted on Baalveer Returns, and of course they were copied from Thor Ragnarok. Now the reason behind this is lack of creativity and the lack of motivation of the writers who are writing and plotting all of these storylines, and the creative team as well. And the only thing that should have been there was the wings of fairies, and for some reason the fairies were able to fly without the wings. And that was something so bizarre, because Baalveer, from the very first episode to the very last episode of Baalveer, the original show, the season 1, has stated that fairies need wings to fly, and there have been instances where the wings were damaged so the fairies could not fly. Now one can argue that this was a countermeasure taken by the fairies or Mahabari to give them a blessing of not having wings to fly or not needing wings to fly. But this also will be a very controversial option, or you can say a theory, because fairy means a female with wings who can have magic or who does magic, and without the wings the fairies should not be called fairies. They should just be called witches, because witches do not have wings, but they can do magic, or they can do any sort of magic. So they were not being serious by this decision, because they did try to have wings in the first few episodes of Baalveer returns, and those wings were very generic. They were very easily found on YouTube, but the wings that Baalveer season 1 had to their fairies were so rare and not easy to find, and that was something that really made Baalveer a creative and a rare show. Now, the reason why Baal Veer returns just stopped adding wings to the fairies was and still is unknown, because maybe they thought that the fairies that the wings actually that were being used were too fake looking, but in any way they were good, because they made fairies what fairies have, or what is the primary aspect of a fairy. But for some reason they were just cut off, and it really looked funny when we saw our fairies flying without wings. Now, this mistake can of course be corrected when we see the wings of Baalveer in our very first episode, made by Magical, of course, and the entire arc of the wings that was set up will be a redemption, will be changed to a redemption arc. And of course, this would be one of the many blessings of Mahapari, or given by Mahapari to the golden Baalveers, is that they will be having wings. So we can expect our Baalveers to have wings and have flying abilities and teleportation abilities. And this has been set up because Baalveers, as great warriors and protectors of the 7 realms of Baalveer, need to have everything, or at least 3 primary, or as you can say, 1 primary and 2 secondary options. So if one option fails, they can freely and easily have their grasp on the other options that must be available, because they are the true fighters and defenders of the fairies. The warriors that are Baalveer and Vivan, and if the Mahapari is generous enough to bless other Baalveers as well, who are Baal Sakhi and Baal Mitra, then that would be just something that will be in the favor of the fairies of Veerlok and Parilok, and all the 7 realms for that matter. Now, we know that wings are and always have been a great part for describing the fairies. Now, we were delighted and always delighted when we saw how our evil fairies had the wings that were the same color as their entire dresses, or you can say their entire outfit or their looks. Just like, for example, Mahapasambari had her purple wings, Pavandarpari had red wings because they matched her outfit, and we saw how Chalpari had dark red with the streak of black, or you can say brown, for her wings, because those wings matched her outfit. And how Bhankarpari had eagle colored wings, because we know that her outfit also had wings of also had actually streaks of those brown colors that were the justification of the colors designed or selected for her wings. And for some reason, our fairy Mahavinashini, I don't know if she is considered a fairy, but she is a fairy because she had wings. So that is how they defined fairies, because all of the fairies had their own designated wings. And Bhankarpari actually sorry, Bawande Pari never used her wings. She always used her teleportation, or you can say the tornadoification. And she never was revealed to have her wings, but when she was called for the evil army that was being set up by Bhankapari, she came up with the wings, with the red wings, along with her tornado, just to intimidate the good forces, the forces of Baalveer's side. And she really did that unapologetically and without any down low, for that matter. And other instances of fairies, the only fairy I think that we didn't see the wings of was Prachandika. But I think that even Prachandika had her wings, and those wings were probably the color of Mercury, or you can say the silver colored wings. So all of the fairies, all of our fairies always had wings. Always. It was never said that a fairy shouldn't have wings. And if we are to go in even deeper in the discussion of a fairy with wings, then we must say that it was heavily implied that Rani Pari had 3 different wings, because there were 3 different Rani Paris, or you can say 3 different costumes of Rani Pari. The first costume was yellowish gold, or you can say unsaturated gold, and she had really beautiful wings. And those wings, the wings of Rani Pari, were of course more royal, more grand in every aspect. They were just massive wings, just to intimidate her opponent, and they did not fail to intimidate her opponent, who was Bhankar Pari at that time. And then the second Rani Pari, or you can say the second outfit of Rani Pari, was played by Sudeepa Singh, and that choice of wings was definitely a choice, because they were not white or they were not red, and they were something of a peach color. And the only peach color that was in Rani Pari's grasp was her royal wand. So it is possible, or it can be possible, that her wings decided to catch the color of the royal wand. But that mistake was then also corrected when Rani Pari was gifted a new change in outfit by the Paritara, and we all know that episode when our fairies were given a second look. And in that second look, the wings of our fairies and the colors of wings of all the fairies changed according to their costumes. So the reason why we're really heavily just talking about this, the wings of and the importance of wings, is because Baalveer Returns forgot how important wings are in a fairy's life. And if they decided to give Baalveer wings for some reason, then they should have been stuck with it, and they should have stuck with it. But they decided just to abandon that amazing chance of giving Baalveer that shine that he deserved. So Magic World tried its best to give the fairies their wings, to give back their wings, and to give back all of the lost, or you can say snatched aspects of the fairies that were stolen from them in Baalveer Returns. And the major aspect that was stolen, and we are talking about this because season 3 is very, very close, and this is the episode 1 of season 3. And the only reason we are talking about this is because it should be made a primary thing to call out all of the flaws so that the future episodes of our favorite shows can have more effort put into them in terms of writing. So we hope that season 3 will have Baalveer with wings as well as the fairies, but most importantly and more importantly, the fairies should be blessed with wings, and in addition of a bonus, Baalveers, our favorite Baalveers, will be getting wings as well. And just like how Baal Veer used his magnetic blessing that was given to him by Rani Pari, by the second Rani Pari, as in the timeline of the show, not the overall or not the general second Rani Pari, because there have been thousands and thousands of Rani Paris even before Mahapari. So the second Rani Pari gave a blessing to Baal Veer to hold because of his achievements of rescuing Meher without any magical power. So that magnetic power, or you can say that magnetic magical power, was given to him, and because it was just absorbed by the body, there was no need of his wand. So even if Baalveer didn't have his wand with him, that magnetic power will work nonetheless. And that really started an idea that if Baalveer is useless, or you can say vulnerable without his wand, then why do they keep Baalveer's entire magic or magical powers in his wand? So this was an unexplained plot that was and is now being explained by Magic World, that Baalveer always should have been independent of his wand, of his magical weapon. And now that we can finally see in Baalveer Returns that he is now independent, and actually all of the fairies are independent of their magical wand, it was somehow made a flaw. And that flaw is very much true, and it stands because without the wand, the fairies can do their magic, but they can't amplify their magic. And this was heavily implied as well in the original show, because when they really wanted to amplify their powers, they held their wand with both of their hands, doubling the power that they were conducting, doubling their magic. So all of these things that were a part, that were canon, that were definitely a part of Baalveer's world, were just ignored and were just cut off, and these plot points and everything in the storylines and these important characteristics and details were just abandoned for some reason, because we as Baalveer fans cannot escape this ocean of the sea of flaws. And this was just being displayed without any shame, that their favorite show was just left out of Baalveer Returns, and only the clips, some of the clips were just used to just make some sort of relation, or you can say a callback to a specific storyline for their own benefit. That is all what happened in Baalveer Returns, in terms of when it was needed for them to really connect the two shows that are Baalveer Season 1 and Baalveer Season 2. So these were one of the flaws and the wings of Baalveer and fairies that were just left out. But in Season 3, it will be a prime primary aspect. It will be a prime aspect to have, for the fairies to have their entire characteristics in full display, and the Baalveers, who will be our golden Baalveers, have their time to shine with their wings and a time to fly with the wings and the blessings of Mapari. Subscribe our channel and watch these Baalveer episodes only on Magic World, where new Baalveer episodes are daily uploaded with new ideas. Only for the true Baalveer fans who want to experience the wonders of Baalveer that are brought to you by Magic World. Take care of yourself and be happy.